clearing out show.
You've had tragedy happen to you in the last year with the passing of Kyle, your amazing wife, and I knew Kyle for years, and she was amazing to me. I'm wondering, what is a man's conversation with God during a tragedy like that when it's occurring?
Well, for the 2-year period that from the time she was diagnosed to the time Kyle passed, it was, on the outside trying to be positive and faithful, but on the inside falling apart, and questioning God, asking why, crying out to God, not understanding, waking up every day feeling like it was a nightmare you couldn't wake from, Because bottom line is, you were praying for good news, but we were praying for good news, but continuously receiving bad news because it was stage 4 and so advanced. And so it was 2 years of basic hell on earth, But we had so many people praying for us and so many people supporting us. We somehow got through it and kept our faith, miraculously. And then, and you knew Kyle, just as I know Kyle. She was a woman of faith, an incredibly strong woman. And she was, her outlook on life and for everyone was to put everyone else first. And she was very sacrificial. That's the way she always was, for our kids, for me, for everyone around her, friends, neighbors, you name it. And that was the way it was to the very end. And that's why I did the Boston tour, because she really pushed me to do that.
Yeah.
That was a sacrifice. She wanted me to do that. But anyway, and once she passed and took her last breath, it just, something happened in my heart that I knew instantly where she was, and I knew she was okay, and I had peace that I didn't have for 2 years. I didn't have a lot of peace, but instantly, like that, I had peace. And it was difficult for people to understand that, because I cried my eyes out for 2 years. Every conversation I've had with anyone about that, basically I'd start bawling my eyes out. But then I haven't cried since. I may in the future, I don't know, but I'm just saying I have this peace, and because of that, I'm able to move forward, and my outlook on it is different than some other people's outlook, and I know where she is, and I know she's all right. And that makes it all right for me, and I know she's in the place where we all long to be.
Yeah.
So, and I actually, wound up, I think, by the grace of God, a miracle. I found somebody else who is totally like a female version of me, man.
Yeah.
We're like this, and we have so much in common. It's amazing. And she brings me peace and joy too, and comforts me, and calms me, and it's amazing. So we're moving forward too. I love her, and that's been difficult for a few people to understand as well. The bottom line is this: I certainly don't want to rush into any heavy decisions in my life, but it's very important that, because life is so short and it's here and gone. 25 years.
No, I know.
If STRYPER, gone. It doesn't feel like 25 years. But it's very important to live life and be happy, not be miserable, not, say, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't do this, and be an unhappy, miserable, frustrated person. It's very important to savor every moment and to be happy in every moment. And that's what I'm going to do.
Because STRYPER is celebrating a 25th anniversary, just briefly give me the highlights of, we'll start off with the Yellow and Black Attack period.
Just to, see... to sign a record company with a contract, a recording contract with the company, and to see them really get involved and behind the band, and to see the fruit from that. To go from selling no records to 150,000 records, and bringing in 50 people do the Troubadour and selling it out in a line around the block, a mile long, and reviews and write-ups and everything. It seemed to feel like it was overnight. It was shocking. But it wasn't overnight.
No.
But it felt like it.
Yeah.
And it was a shock and a surprise and a gift, an amazing time. Soldiers, again, we kind of bumped things up. We met with infamous producer Michael Wagner. He loved the band. He produced the album, Soldier Under Command, and that catapulted us to a new level.
Went
gold eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But back during that time, we kind of stepped up from clubs to theaters, and things were just kind of going like this. And that was an amazing time. I think that's one of my favorite Stryper albums. It had this energy to it, you know.
Okay, and then your breakthrough album, which was To Hell with the Devil.
Yeah. That was the album that really exploded. Dial MTV, the Countdown, that's when people could call in and request videos. We made some great videos. You know, with Wayne Isham, Calling on You Free, honestly. And that was a real magical period. I mean, that's when all the hair bands were doing really well, and we were in that category. But what was even more special and incredible for us is the fact that we would beat out some of these bands like Bon Jovi and Motley Crue, and you know, move them out of the #1 position. That was incredible for a Christian band. So it was a real incredible time. And then that's when we went from theaters into arenas. Around the latter part of that album, around like 87, we started doing it. Just exploded.
You actually headlined Irvine Meadows and Warrant and Hurricane actually opened for you guys.
Yeah, and that was a real incredible time for us, and we went to platinum status. So it was just this explosive time for us, you know.
And then you work with Michael Lloyd, he's known as a pop producer, and he worked with Belinda Carlisle, and at the time was enjoying success with the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you worked with him on In God We Trust.
We did, and the thinking behind that was, let's take our hard rock metal skills and combine them with, you know, a seasoned veteran producer who has produced some incredibly huge pop records, and combine the two. And that's why we worked with Michael. And he was a fantastic guy. We met him. We thought he was an amazing person. And the combination worked, you know. People, interestingly enough, seemed to really like that record. A lot went into it. We I think, overproduced it. We spent too much time on it and too much money. And it became kind of sterile, in my opinion. We lost some of that raw energy. Because instead of doing a guitar take 2 or 3 times and going with the best out of the 2 or 3, we would do it 50 times. And you just lose it. You lose the energy, you know. So I think we spent like $650,000 making it, like 5 months, 6 months making it. It was crazy, you know. But people request songs from that album, and you know what's funny? We don't have one In God We Trust song in this set list.
Really?
Not one.
The Blaring Out Show.